Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rob, and this is Salty Dog Solutions. For this video, we're going to be jumping around quite a bit so I can shorten the video as much as possible, make it as short as I can. The sound you're hearing in the background is a squirrel cage fan from the furnace because it's really pretty hot today. And I'm in my garage and I got to keep the door closed because of the light, that kind of thing. Anyway, this is my stock tank. It is 94 inches long, so I was wrong. It's almost 8 feet long. So 94, we're going to go 4. 94, half of that is 47, so that's our midpoint. Now we want to find out where our curve begins, which is right here. We're going to put a base of treated 5/4 around this perimeter of this. And I'm trying to get a cross mark here. 15 is the half of it. Yeah, okay. Right there. So we're going to know how long to cut these pieces. 30 and a half, so it's going to be 61 inch pieces of the 5/4. We cut one of them. I've got 2 here, but I'm going to cut once because I'm going to rip that in half. So these are only going to be approximately 2 3/4 inches wide, and it's going to be screwed to the lip of this stock tank. So the tank's not sitting directly on the deck and rusting, that kind of thing. We're going to have a nice wood base for this to apply it. So I'm going to stop here, and then I'll get these cut to length, and I'll get them ripped, and then we'll start doing our round edges. All right, we're back. Got these cut to length, got them ripped to width. These are our long pieces here. Gotta say, never built one of these before, so basically your journey is my journey. So we're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. What I need to do now is to get these set about on this line. I'm going to need my drywall T-square, which is right here. And what we're going to do is come up to this line that we made to where the curve starts. Is right in that area. Alright. And then I'm going to need to be a half inch, I want a half inch lip all the way around this. So we're going to come off this point to 5 inches. Then we're going to run our T-square out, lining up the edge with the edge of the lip. Run a line here, straight across. All the way. So that'll get us our length for the round part. We're going to go ahead and let that hang over an inch, and that's going to give us 25-inch piece of 5/4 to make that curve. All right, I'll be right back. All right, back. Got our nose piece cut. Probably going to use this as a template for the other end. Took my compass, ran that along the line, adding a half of an inch for that lip that I want. Put it on my belt sander. I'm going to take some of the band hollow marks out of it. I want a nice project if I can. So just kind of sparing you the time and effort to band saw all this stuff out. So, all right, we're going to set this across our line. We'll see if we've got a half of an inch sticking out on this side, and that's what we've got. See if we've got that on this side as well on the line, and there's a half of an inch. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to create a line across where these straight pieces are going to run. Had to get rid of my number 2 pencil, kept breaking the lead. So I got me a real carpenter's pencil out. Anyway, we're going to run a line across here. That's where our straight pieces are going to reside. Bring those out about a half an inch. We don't really have to set them exactly. Right now we're going to try to get the length of these 2 fill-in pieces. I'm setting the ripped edge out. I like the rounded edge of the factory edge of the 5/4, but I was going to have to bandsaw that, so I want the whole edge to match, so I went ahead and put the ripped edge out on this. We're going to come up here on the line. We're going to give ourselves some leeway here as far as the length goes, because we're going to have to count an angle on that end and on this end to match this. So we're going to need to kind of give ourselves extra length here. It's just going to be a guess at about 15 inches. Then we'll set that on there, do some scribing and lines, and then we'll come back with some pieces. Okay, we're back. Got that length piece, set it down, did some eyeballing as far as the angle goes. Cut that angle first, because it was going to be an angle cut on this piece. This is actually still a 90 degree. Laid it on top of the long one, marked that. It was about a 22.5, which is what I kind of thought it was going to be, because we're eventually doing a 90 degree, 22.5, 45, 90, that kind of thing. It's all geometrics, whatever it is. Anyway, mark that, cut the long piece angle, set that in, scribed it, almost messed up, started to bandsaw the actual scribe mark. Forgot to add the 1/2 inch, but I caught it. Took my compass, scribed the extra 1/2 inch, cut that out, brought it back, fits really nicely. Went ahead and used that as a template, flipped it over upside down, marked the other one, and that one fits well as well. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 3 and I'm going to use those as templates to do the other end, because I believe it's going to fit fine. So that's what I'm going to do now, is to take these, reproduce those, hopefully exactly or close. So anyway, I'll be back in a minute. All right, now that we've reproduced those 3 pieces to make the curve, at this end, which I probably should have filmed that, because that would have been a tutorial on ever wonder about wandering on a bandsaw, because that was some really hard 5/4 to get through, and it took a while to get that sanded decent. So anyway, we've got our curves. What we're going to do next, I'm going to get you in here and take a look at this real close. Here's the so-called joinery that's going to happen. Well, I was sheer stroke of genius. No. Sheer stroke of necessity. Figured out that it'd be good to clamp each joint to this little rim at the bottom of the tub. Keeps the wood in place, keeps the joints even, and it's going to make it a lot easier to pre-drill that wood to make everything sure that it's not going to split out. We'll get all these joints basically screwed together, and then we'll figure out what we need to do as far as bracing goes there. I don't want to use up any more. I don't want to buy another piece of 5/4, so we're going to make do with what we got. I got 2 pieces of 5/4. I got 4 2x4s, 8 foot long, 5/4s were 10 foot. I got a piece of one side good grade 3/4 inch plywood. That's going to be the seating in the back and that kind of stuff. So anyway, trying to use what we got. I won't spend any more money than I don't have. So anyway, I'll be right back. And I'm back. Well, a fair amount has gotten done since you were off having a bologna sandwich and a cold snack. Measured through here to get these 3 braces length. Ripped one of the 5/4 down. Don't really need all that width. put these 3 braces in. Figured out the geometry on this brace here, the length of that, ripped that down. Basically, it's a lot of bracing to keep things from twisting. And there's some other things later on that I'm kind of building to also. All these joints are now screwed. I didn't fill you in or show you the screwing. I figured you guys know how to screw. So we got 2 4-inch screws in each of these end joints. Got a 4-inch screw here, 3-inch screw here, 3 inchers, just various, wherever I could get a 4-inch screw in, that's where I put it in there. Didn't want to split anything out. Everything is basically symmetrical, one end to the other. Got self-tapper screws to screw the galvanized tub into the base from the underside. Basically, that's where I was going. But once I found out that there's about 4 layers of this galvanized metal that I got to go through, I'm going to have to pre-drill all those holes and then use the self-tappers after that. Because I got the one self-tapper in, it was just too much trouble, so I'm just going to pre-drill everything. So this base is basically complete. So now I'm going to take the clamps off, and then we'll get you in and we'll flip this over and start figuring out where the seat's going to go. I had some numbers in mind, but I checked on some seat cushions, and I think I'm going to go with instead of 52, I'm going to go with a 60-inch couch insert in here, because I was able to find a 60-inch cushion. So that's what we're going to do. We get these clamps off here, flip this thing over, and get going on the framework. See you then. And we're back. All right, while we were gone there, I got all the self-tappers, which weren't really self-tapping, pre-tapped self-tappers. Got all those into the base. Made sure to put a screw on each side, very close to each joint, basically making the tub a metal gusset to keep the base from flexing. So we want that rigid. We don't want those joints to pull out, because basically I've got to put an end piece on here with a handle, because this is going to be very heavy. You're going to need some way to carry it. You can't just pick it up with your fingers and carry it around. So I'm going to need to put a really strong handle on each end of this couch. Now we're going to figure out where we're going to put the insert, where the seat in the back is going to be. And the way I did that, I took an 8-foot 2x4, got it centered into the tub itself. I've got the center marked off. We're going to have a 60-inch bench, so we did 30 inches on both sides. So we figured out this is going to be the end of the bench on this end. What I want to do is figure out where that's going to be. So I'm going to run a square across there, and I'm going to mark my tub. Okay, that's the square mark. I know I'm going to want a finished 15-inch seat height. Plywood's 3/4 of an inch or so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run about 14.5 inch is where we're going to cut it from the ground. Mark that at 14.5. Grab our square. See if I can find a flat spot here somewhere. And on the line, that looks to be about right. One of my favorite YouTubers says, close enough for the girls we date. Hate to steal lines from somebody, but it's a good line. Okay, we're coming up 14.5 again over here. Well, first we're going to get our square mark. square mark on that. We're going to come up 14 and a half. Got that. Find a level spot if I can. See if I can get a mark down there. Yep. Where's my mark? There it is. Okay. See if that'll work. That's not bad. I believe the floor is probably level and square, so maybe that's what we need to look at. Well, that one works fine. Okay. All right, that's our cuts for those sides. Actually, it's not our cuts for those sides, because I don't want the sides to be square up. I want them to be slanted. I like to have it slanting probably 2 inches away from where the seat's going to be. Give us a little bit of a angle there. Just a little more room where you can actually sit right at the end, and if you want to lay down, it'll have a little angle spot. You throw a pillow, take you a nap. Nothing like a nice nap in the afternoon outside. Alright, we got our angle on that. There's our angle on that. So that's where my bracing is going to go. I'm going to put my bracing in before I cut that out, because otherwise it's going to flop all over the place. So I'm going to let you guys go for a minute. Get that bracing in, get that cut out, and I'll be right back. And we're back. Well, a fair amount's been accomplished since had the bathroom break. I need to put the bracing in here before I cut the metal out, so the metal's not flopping around all over the place, going crazy and bending and all that kind of stuff. So basically, I found my cutout area, which is going to be a 60-inch seat. I wanted a 14 and a half or so finished seat, or actually 15-inch finished seat height. So I went up 14 and a half. Anyway, got this measured out. Put the front brace behind for where your legs are going to hit. Squared up from the ground and then down from the top. Got that point. Mounted that with self-tapping screws, and those self-tappers do not tap themselves. Every one of those had to be pre-drilled. Not a good idea to put a Phillips head screw into a self-tapping situation. Let's go with them hex heads, so I can use my magnet. Anyway, got that front brace on, screwed in, squared to the back. I want about a 1-inch drop in the seat from front to back, so you're it's just basically cradling your butt into that area. So I measured back where the front was, dropped it 1 inch, put the back brace in, screwed it from behind, ran my side rails front to back. These are all split 2x2s or 2x4s, split them in half basically for weight reduction. That was the main idea for that. So then I got my front to back rails put in. I'm still going to put probably 2 more of those in here. I haven't set those in yet, but I wanted to get you in here and take a look at this framework. So there's my front rail in. There's the back rail, and then that's the side rail for the top. Now this area here is going to be end table. most of it's done. It's usually just too loud to film, but I'll get you in here on the ass end of it so you can see the reveal, I guess. Now that's my German Shepherd. Go on, Josie. All right. There you go. That gives you a better idea what I'm going after anyway. So that's done. Basically all I gotta do now is put the plywood in and get the angles right. Wait for my cushion to come from Amazon. Right back. And we're back. Got all my bracing in. Got my seat in. Got my side pieces in. Plywood. Size, angled out. Pretty nice. I like it. Cut my strip from my back on plywood, or measured it and then used the remainder of it to do the back of my seat. Lots of measuring, get that angle correct. Got it correct. Put it in there, don't like it. It's about 12 inches tall and it's not tall enough. You just feel like it's, the back is just hitting your midstream and it just doesn't work for me. So sometimes you just got to pivot. I have quite a bit of old growth pine that was bleachers that came out of a gymnasium. The gymnasium was built in 1961, so that's how old the pine is. Really tight grain, beautiful wood, love it. I think what I'm going to do is join a couple of these 9-inch boards together, create a back, get a little artsy-fartsy here. I'm going to create a back, and instead of doing plywood for the end tables, we're going to do the whole top, end tables, and the back, shelf in the back of the seat. We're going to do the whole thing in the bleacher material. And we're back again. Like I said on the last installment, I was using plywood for the seats, the sides, and the back. What was left on that sheet of plywood for the back was like about 12 inches, and it was just not comfortable hitting you right about here. So I pivoted and went to use old bleachers that I'd gotten years ago out of a gymnasium by my old school, where I went to school. So that's what yesterday was resetting that. And I got the boards for the back cut. This cleat right here is just to keep them in place. I needed them. I put about a 30-degree angle on the bottom. That way it lays good. I sat down, got the angle that I liked, that felt good, and set it there. Used my bevel. Got that as a reference point. Now these back pieces. To begin with, I gotta do some trimming, that kind of thing. Fit those, trim to fit type of deal. But these will go in here. They'll all be screwed down. Top and bottom. Anyway, you get the idea. I bent a piece of metal, a rib off of an old umbrella or something, clamped it there, and I got a nice radius on the top of that. Also, I'm going to do a round over with my router on the front and the back edge of that, so we got a nice soft round edge on that. For the side on the handles, it's going to be so heavy, I need to do a sandwich in between two of the bleacher boards ripped in half, sandwiching that galvanized tub in between with 3-inch screws, and then I've got handles in there soaking to age those handles. Those are going to have 4 3-inch screws in each handle to hold that. Underneath, I just took these, traced underneath, cut those out on the bandsaw, put the blocking, two pieces of blocking on the edges, screwed from the outside, and then screwed down through here. The way I did that also was, let's see, I'm gonna have to edit this out. Well, I can show you the box of screws. This is actually 4 composite decking. They're a 8 by 2.5 trim head screws. Doesn't have very big of a head at all. That way I was able to actually just only drill a 1/4-inch countersink hole, sink these in, and then take my 1/4-inch dowel, basically not even gluing this stuff, ram the dowel into it, take the flush cut handsaw, cut it off, good to go. And we're back. All right. This is a couple of days later, worked on it 1 or 2 days. You notice I haven't really said anything about the dimensions of, this is so long, this is 60 inches long, but you can make it however long you want. And the dimensions of everything is going to change as to what size trough you're going to use. This is not a tutorial. This is basically, I took a trough and I figured out how to do this, and I thought it was going to look cool at the end of it, so I thought I'd just go ahead and document this a little bit. And this channel is going to be just that. It's not going to be a tutorial. It's going to be, hey, this is how I did this. It's not going to teach you how to do any of it. You probably already know the ins and outs of how to do all this. It might just give you an idea or spur an idea from one of my ideas. So you go, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. Hey, I got an idea. I'll do it with this. Ideas are good. Well, I'm back. As you can see, my cushion came in from Amazon. Found some pillows at Big Lots. Not the color I wanted, but they are, what are they? Broyhill. So I figure the material's probably pretty rugged and they'll last a long time, so didn't really care what color it was. But pretty pleased with the outcome. Set's very nice. Nice angle. I think probably what I'm going to do is build a couple of footstools out there so you can kind of do a little recline thing. But the back turned out well. I got to do a little bit of touch-up black paint. That's about it, really. Just about it for the bench. Made a couple little coasters out of some bleacher material and some of the metal. So hopefully I can keep some moisture rings off of there. Subscribe if you like this idea. Like I say, it's not a tutorial, but what I'm doing is any kind of ideas and stuff I come up with, I'll just put it on video. Got an idea for a roof panel for a chicken house, so I might do that next. Also have one for a rain collection filter cartridge that I'm not sure works real well, but I think it's a pretty good idea. So anyway, stay tuned for them. Subscribe if you like it. Like it if you like it. Don't like it if you don't like it, I guess. So anyway, I'll see you next time. Thanks.